What's up, Gator Nation? Welcome back to Beyond the Swamp. This is your host, Austin Ngwiki. This is your home for all things Florida Gators athletics, and today I'm going to be diving into a question that has college sports fans talking of recent, man, and that is, has the University of Florida officially become the best men's athletic program of the 21st century? Let's dive into it today. Okay, man, so after clinching the 2025 NCAA men's basketball championship, the Florida Gators now stand in a class of its own. Now, why is that? Because it is now the only school in college sports history with 3 national championships in both football and men's basketball. No other school can claim that, period. That's pretty big now that I think about it, because in the past 25 to 30 years, there have been powerhouse programs in both football and basketball that have came and went. So let's go ahead and highlight Florida's football dominance. Let's start on the gridiron. Since 2000, Florida football has won 2 BCS national championships, in 2006 and 2008, both under Urban Meyer, with Heisman winner Tim Tebow leading the charge. The Gators were the face of college football for years, and they also won the SEC in 2000, 2006, and 2008, and played for the conference title multiple times since. Now, of course, the 2006 and 2008 title came after they won under Steve Spurrier in the mid-1990s, which is how they got their total of 3 national championships in football. Of course, quick stat overlay, as mentioned, they had a title in 06 and 08, right? SEC titles 3 in 2000, 2006, 2008. Heisman Trophy winner Tim Tebow. And also, since 2000, Florida, as of right now, is ranked, I think, 6 to 8 nationally since the year 2000 in draft picks, in NFL draft picks specifically. Of course, notable peers that they rank up there with is Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, Georgia, Oklahoma, and USC are typically in the top tier along Florida in this time span. But of course, again, that's just pretty much goes to show Florida right now, they might be one of those schools that can actually rightfully say in the past 20, 25, 30 years, they've been one of the more successful football programs. Of course, you have the Alabamas of the world and Georgia who have multiple. But outside of that, the University of Florida can definitely stick their chest out and have some bragging rights there. Now let's go ahead and shift our focus over to the hardwood, man. Florida men's basketball has put together arguably one of the most underrated dynasties of the modern college hoops era. In 06 and 07, Hall of Fame coach Billy Donovan's squad went back-to-back led by Joahkim Noah, Al Horford, and Corey Brewer, man. That 2007 team remains one of this century's to be the only ones to go back-to-back in the national titles outside of the University of UConn, which they did in 2023 and 2024. And ironically, as soon as they do that, the team that wins the very next year happens to be, the Florida Gators. Isn't that ironic? Very funny, right? It was almost like it was meant to be. Greatness is always meant to go back to where it belongs. So, of course, that's just me kind of sticking my chest out as a Gator fan there. But, of course, just flexing. But, of course, as of right now, in 2025, under the leadership of 39-year-old Todd Golden, the Gators did it again, securing their 3rd national title. Not only that, they did it in a way that many analysts say may have been the most difficult Final Four in modern history, beating 2 number 1 seeds and teams ranked in the top 10 in KenPom all time. Now, just to go back over those basketball stats, when it comes to NCAA titles, they got one in 06, 2007, and 2025, man. Final Four appearances, they have 5 in the year 2000, 2006, 2007, 2014, 2025. SEC tournament titles, multiple since 2000, of course, and then NBA draft picks, over 20 in the 2000s, right? So, of course, as you see there, Florida basketball has managed to secure 3 national titles in the past 25 to 30 years. Same thing with the football program, man. And they're the only ones that they can say, they're the only ones who can pretty much brag on that, right? And here's the thing about it that makes this a little bit more interesting. Now, I know what people are thinking, but Austin, what are you talking about, man? There are programs all over different conferences in college basketball and football who have multiple and more than 3 national titles in both football and basketball. Right, that is totally correct. We all can acknowledge that. For an example, historically in the basketball world, UCLA, North Carolina, the Dukes of the world have more national titles than the University of Florida in basketball. Historically speaking, those schools I just named typically are not that good in football, which is what I prefaced at the very beginning. There aren't too many teams who have multiple, let alone 3 in both sports. Now, of course, we have the Georgias and the Bamas of the world who historically get their national titles when it comes to football. Now, of course, as we've seen, Alabama is starting to, the SEC in general is starting to rise up as a program. 14 out of 16 teams in the SEC or something close to that went to the tournament, which I think is the most that any conference has ever sent. So the SEC in itself as a basketball conference is getting better. But with that being said, it's kind of hard to find programs that can do both, man. Right? So that's an example of why I said this is very significant. And Florida, for all we know, is only getting better. Like right now, they just got $1.5 million in NIL funding for the basketball program, so they're looking to reload. So, if Florida gets one or two more in the next 5 years, that's going to be looking a little bit spooky, right? Same thing with the football program. So that's why me breaking this down in that aspect is very important. Because I already know people are going to jump in the comments, or people on Twitter and Instagram who have acknowledged this. They've already kind of thrown stones at this take by saying, they're a team with multiple titles, way more than 3, and football or basketball. But like I said, baby, you can't find any who have at least 3 in both football and basketball. So, of course, if you have a rebuttal on that, of course, jump in the comment section. Feel free to do that, but that's just my opinion. So, but of course, in terms of that, Gator Nation, if you're a Florida fan, right, let me know in the comments. You guys also drop a comment below as well. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. But of course, as always, jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think, man. Opinions, thoughts, dialogue. That's what makes these conversations more interesting and helps us get to the conclusion, right? So it makes everything fun. But of course, like and subscribe. And this is your host, Austin. This is Beyond the Swamp, and I'll see you guys soon.